And amidst internal wrangling rocking the People's Democratic Party, PDP, a glimpse of unity is in the offing. Governors elected under the platform of the PDP are scheduled to meet today in Abuja to negotiate zoning offices of National Working Committee, NWC, of the party among the states in the 6 geopolitical zones. But the National Executive Council, NEC, and the Board of Trustees, BOT, are silent on zoning of the presidential ticket of the party, choosing to keep an open choice. Wale, we know the way this works. As you know, people that have been covering politics for some time, you know that this is also very crucial to that ultimate decision where the presidential candidate is going to come from. Where we see if they choose now, where they are going to have, let's say, their national chairman, that will give us a kind of insight into what is in their minds about the presidential election. Most times, but you know, with these politicians, you can't say anything is cast on concrete.
You see, the PDP is the oldest party in terms of, you know, active party in the country since 1999.
Yes.
And it had the brightest chance. It was the biggest party. At the time, it was parading itself as the biggest in Africa. And I think one of its leaders even said they were going to rule Nigeria for 60 years. But unfortunately, the party every day is becoming weak and weaker. And very soon it may become the weakest if care is not taken. And I'm worried for the party because there is no sign that the party can bounce back, even though there are critical elections coming up. The Anambra election is there, the Ekiti election is there. Take the 2 states, Osun is there. In Anambra, the PDP is factionalized. In the Ekiti state, almost about 4 factions. At the national level, it is the same problem. So having the meeting tomorrow, well, it's a good step. At least the governors will be having a meeting in preparation for, you know, the coming election, and then they said they want to rotate, they want to share offices. You know,
the national working committee.
I hope they will realize that you know, they need to do a lot to bring the party, to cement the party together, if they want to give hope to their members. Because like people have taken extreme positions in the two, you know, within the party. You see the, you know, Atiku group on the extreme side, the Wike group, you know, on the other extreme. And it seems they are not trying to create a meeting point. Wike is insisting that Secondus cannot contest any position again. Of course, the only person can go for is national chairman. And the other group are saying that, look, members of National Working Committee, none of them can contest election again. And it's coming at a very critical, because we are just very few months to the presidential election, apart from this election. So I'm really sorry for the party, because you could see what has happened to the party, that the APC has poached, you know, many state governors. I think PDP has just about 13 governors now. So if they are not able to resolve the challenges that they have, and very quickly, the internal explosion in the party, you know, may just be the last straw that we, you know, finally destroy the fortunes of the party.
Bisi, what do you make of this zoning, the arrangement of looking at the geopolitical zone that we to negotiate who gets what? Would that necessarily affect the choice of the presidential candidate, where the presidential candidate will come from?
Definitely. Definitely, and that is where we are even they are having crisis in that area right now. For example, why is Wike insisting that Secondus should not come back as national chairman of the party? We need to ask ourselves. It's because Secondus comes from the same zone as Wike, and Wike, I want to believe, is probably also nursing a presidential ambition, which he thinks that if Secondus should take the position of the national chairman of the party, may affect his own chance of, you know, being nominated as the presidential candidate. And I also know that the Bala Mohammed, Bauchi State Governor, is also nursing a presidential ambition. And he also does not want the current people from his own zone in the party now, in the committee, in the NWC to remain, because remaining there will also affect his own chance of being nominated as a presidential candidate. You see, all of them are different ambitions, and they are just allowing their selfish ambitions to ruin the party. And sometimes I just wonder why our politicians behave the way they do. Because by the time you bring all your ambitions together and you ruin a party, how do you even now move? How do you now achieve the ambition that you really want to achieve? Because you need the party to even get whatever you think you want, and which is the reason why there should be compromise from time to time. But definitely the problem with PDP is about who becomes the next president of Nigeria. That is why we are seeing all the things we are seeing.
Well, a lot of people will tell you that the real problem with PDP is that since 1999, there's always been this de facto leader, which is the sitting, president. That's if, like, during the time of Olusegun Obasanjo, he calls the shots. Forget who is in the party, is the national chairman. He wants you there, he wants you, doesn't want you, he takes you off, and the party policy and everything. So there was the kind of direction. So they didn't have this kind of the character like Wikis could not actually hold the party in the jugular.
Yes, I think in a sense it is true, because when President Obasanjo was there, we may not have had very strong political institution, but there was a strong individual. Naturally, this is the consequence of when you have a strong individual but you don't have a strong institution. With the tactical withdrawal of former President Obasanjo, the party, as the structures have almost collapsed. And I think what is keeping on APC in a way is the fact that there's a rallying figure. At least the president is still seen, as the pillar of the party, the person that can, charismatically lead the party into the next, phase of the struggle. But in PDP, there is no rallying figure. Former President Jonathan is supposed to play that role. He's not been doing that. He's brought down by so many things, and also the diplomatic status that assumed, as given to him by the federal government. So he's not coming up as somebody who can actually lead the party. The same thing with Atiku. Going
by recent circulation.
Yes, so
you see the people who say the even APC, they've gone ahead to even woo the former president.
Of
that
course.
Has made up his mind on what to actually do.
Nobody in PDP with a national appeal, with a moral authority that can give instructions that everybody can. What you are seeing is bidding of cartels, regional cartels, state cartels, without any rallying point. And I think that is going to affect them. Atiku, that is also supposed to play that role, is bogged down by his ambition that he wants to be the. So the party needs somebody who is not driven by personal ambition, that people can listen to him, not on the basis of what he, what he wants to, what he actually wants for himself. That is lacking in that party. And I think for a very long time, it's going to affect the party. Look at the PDP, the chairman of the PDP Governors Forum, Tambua. He's still a sitting governor, and he also has political ambition. So they need a role model that can play the role of a patron that people can respect. And for now, that is lacking, and it's to a very large extent to affect the the future of the party.
Ola is calling us from Lagos.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Ola. Thank you for joining us.
No, well done, sir. Firstly, I would like to talk about the judicial settings of Nigeria. There is a saying in law. It says, precise justice corrects law. Like, do justice even if heaven falls. It's really, really wonderful and worrisome wherever our politicians feel they are all above the law. In a system where you find out that the politicians are the one picking the judiciary, there will always be a problem. You can't be feeding a dog and expect it to back at me who is feeding it. So most of the time, we really need to just check balance these politicians or check balance these people. If there should be a setting whereby, the judiciary could in-house select these people on their own. They are independent organization, the law is above everybody. So in a situation where like you throw a food to a dog and you expect it to bark at you, it's not going to happen. If someone puts you there, you're going to answer to. So it's really somehow, wherever like we find ourselves in this kind of situation, same thing happens.
Thank you for your contribution. Do you agree with Wale that is that absence of father figure or rallying point? Because we had that in Olusegun Obasanjo, and the president, the likes of President Jonathan has been very quiet. He has not been too active when it comes to partisan politics. He has even done more when it comes to this international shuttle diplomatic movements.
I think PDP is still suffering from the defeats of 2015 and 2019. They've not been able to come out of their problem. Yes, need for a father figure like Obasanjo, very true. But remember that even during Obasanjo's regime, as powerful as Obasanjo was at that time, they still had their squabbles within the party. So it's not just about Obasanjo as a strong figure, which he did, and remember that during Jonathan's period, before Obasanjo even tore his cards, why did he tear his PDP card? Was it not because he thought what he was saying, that the party was not moving along with him? Was it not because he felt Jonathan was not agreeing with him on certain issues? There were a lot of political squabbles at that time now that we are also aware of. So it goes beyond a father figure. I also think that the people in that party, it is still about nothing personal ambition. It's not about national interest. Yeah. Because if it is about national interest, this is not even a time for PDP to be looking at selfish motives. It's the time that they should come together, because they have a very good chance of taking over power from the APC if they are able to put their house in order. But as it is, their selfishness and whatever is not even allowing them. So I think they have a major problem, and I don't see them even getting out of that problem very soon. Remember what happened in Oyo State between the governor and the former governor of Ekiti State, just over this selection of members of the NEC also for the party. That was how the thing lingered for so long, until almost all the people in the party got involved before. And what is it? It's just because of election of Ekiti, who becomes the next governor of Ekiti State. At that time, we were hearing the former governor Fayose saying that what's the name of Oyo State governor? Is my boy. Seyi Makinde is my boy. He cannot dictate to me. And you know, all sorts of things that you hear from them.
Okay, let's take Charles from Ibadan. Good evening, Charles.
Yeah, good evening, Ayo. Good evening, Madam Bisi. Good evening,
What are you doing?
The issue with PDP, Mr. Wale, PDP is not here as an opposition. They are not here as a party that wants to take over power. You can see what happened before when they were in power and what the APs they were able to do. For instance, in Lagos State, they are not like PDP in Lagos State.
Yeah.
It's only when during election, somebody will just jump out, I want to contest. Let me give you another example. Locally, in the Shomolu area of Lagos State, the party secretariat of PDP has been taken over by APC. How do you see that? And in PDP, it's only self-interest that matters. Everybody wants to be president. Everybody wants to be national chairman. And the way the things are going on, like we were talking about the former president, President Goodluck Jonathan, I believe we should also do more at home and settle other political problems across Africa. You can't be pursuing right perhaps when your house is on fire. You should come home and give leadership. Thank you.
All right. Now Nigerians, they are left with not many options.
Yeah.
Yes, INEC deregistered some political parties. Yes, we have 17 political parties left, and when you look at PDP, you look at APC, some people will tell you that it's just the difference between 6 and half a dozen. That's almost no difference. And a lot of Nigerians, they've been clamoring for this change, and youth even came out and they've been talking about this change, but they buckled. And 2 years to the next election, less than 2 years to the next election, we still don't have this alternative. From these small ones, if it's Social Democratic Party, youth people, YPP, National Conscience Party, still there. Shores
Labour Party,
African,
Zenith
Labour Party,
Labour Party, so many of them. You see, the political parties, the APC and PDP, they have not created the impression that they are fundamentally different. If you take the Democratic Party in the US, you are talking of gun control. You are talking of multilateral foreign relations. You are talking of the stand of this party on abortion, on labor, which has been able to stand the test of time.
From
the Republican Party, you are talking about, they support unilateral foreign relations. They support, they have issues on religion. They have positions on arms control. That and they don't, their position on labor, is and free market economy. So, but unfortunately, in our case, you can't say this is what makes PDP to be fundamentally different. Not that they are not different, but substantially and fundamentally different from each other. And unfortunately, the political parties that are coming up too, they have not been able to create an alternative platform for Nigerians. Even when they engage, the contradictions of the system, it doesn't go beyond mere rhetoric. They issue statements, for newspapers. Some of them don't have offices. They don't go from one door to the other to mobilize the people. They don't have registered members. During local government elections, they are not there. They only call press conferences. They don't engage the people, the market women, the farmers, the artisans. And so it's, I can predict in that the next election is still going to be a race between PDP and the APC. If there is going to be an alternative platform, it's going to be, ship off these two political. Maybe some people will leave APC and then some people will take APC and then they form an alternative party. But in terms of really having a party that is driven by the interest of the people, providing an alternative for the people, is not there. And this should not be a surprise. What Nigerians are doing in terms of response is to fail to go out to vote. That's why you see declining population of voters. But I don't think that is the best way to respond. To the situation on the ground.
You see. Do you flow with this same line of thought that in 2023 we might not have any upsets? It might just be the same of the same.
It's going to be the same APC, PDP, or the third force, which will be a combination of people from PDP and APC, the disgruntled, let me use that word, disgruntled ones from both parties coming together to probably form another.
And get some few seats.
Well, it depends on who they are and how powerful they are. We all remember what happened in 2015, because those who came together were very powerful enough to actually take over government. So it depends on how powerful they are. But I don't even see much of that happening. Nigerian politicians, they know what they are doing. It's like the country is for them and they are just playing their game.
And finally,